Welcome everyone. Just doing a part 2 of diagnosing the TPS sensor issues. So one of the things I did was the data we looked at last time was from the bike running, and I wanted to see if there were any issues with the bike not running. So we took out the engine as a factor, and so that just meant going down to the bike, plugging the logger in, running it, and we're looking here at the first lot of data collected. So I did let's see, this is 373 file. So if we go and open it up and view it in general, so this is what it looks like. And I just sat there doing a lot of runs. So you can see issues that the orange line doesn't map cleanly. All right, so this is because it's in neutral. We would, in mode 1, in gear 0, all right, so we'd expect it to be getting up to 17%, and that's relatively smooth um, in its line. Not sure which axis it is, probably this back one. Pretty graph. So it'd be this, which line? This line? No, this line. 17%. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. So I ran that test, saw this, and went, okay, that's very, very interesting. So I pulled the data and pulled one of the sections of it, and you can see some glitches in it. Am I in the right file? Yep, so there's one there where it's come down that's got caught, and there's another one there. But I was looking at this data and I thought, well, I might have an issue with the mapping, because I've got this one, the grey one, is sort of mapping quite smoothly. This one's got a jump in it for TPS, so is this correct? And I'm like, well, I'm not sure, because these two here follow each other, and this one's, yeah, got quite a big jump, so this couldn't be the ETV. So the TPS sensor shows up in the ETV. It's awkward. It's all named by cars. So the cars have an accelerator pedal, so technically what we call TPS is accelerator, and what they call TPS is what we call ETV, so electronic throttle valve. So I think I might have mapped one of the data columns incorrectly. So I thought, well, how do I tell that? And it's like, well, the easiest way is to go in and remap the 0 RPM map for one of the modes and rerun the test. So I went into woolich and I did exactly that. So I went and chose mode 3, and I did in the middle at, so you can see here 26 to 53% at the wrist. I put it up to 100% electronic throttle valve, and then I made it go to 100% at the very end. So I'll be able to do back-to-back comparisons of that. So with that prepped, I went and rode it to the bike, and I also wanted to do I was going to do a full tear down, so I took all the tank off, got all the way down to the throttle bodies, I disconnected the sensors, did some measurements. So the first one we got was, I'd written to the bike, and before I did anything, I wanted to do another check. And we can see here, I know on the other one there was a little kink here, and I thought that might have caused a part of the problem, but you can see here the blue line has still got that dip. So, and one of the things I was doing, when you turn the bike on, you can hear the solenoid ringing, so it's sort of that whining sound down there, and that's the just the noise of it opening the electronic throttle valve. And I could feel it as I was doing the test. I could feel it sort of catching and making some sort of crunching noises. So I did that before I even wrote to the bike, but I didn't have the logger in at the time. And you can hear it sort of almost catching, or there's no no way to really describe what it is because we can't see until we've actually completely dismantled the bike and we can look at it. I could definitely hear this, and while I was doing it, and it was there. So we've captured it before doing any maintenance to the bike. But the second part of it was if I go to here, which file is that? So we want 375. So if we go to 375, so we can see it here in these artifacts, and we can see where I've run it with the going to 100%. But the really curious bit is this is after that, and those artifacts are gone. So you can see it dipping down, way down below where it should be. So this is where 0 is, and it's dipping way down. Got a lot of, like, this is smooth, this is rough. This is smooth, this is rough. We do where it jumps up, back down, and then back up again. So that follows what I put into the maps. And as soon as that's done, it's gone back. And this is before I've pulled the bike apart. So obviously that doesn't give me an answer for where things are. But if we look at the data again, so if we're in 375, so if we go and look at 375, yeah, we can see a problem record there, and this is the early one. Now, if we go and look at 377, so this is a later file. So I did another few files. So after I'd sort of completely dismantled the bike and done all the work on it, I did some final follow-up ones. And this is the one with the mode 3 map. So when I look at this, I've got the grey line here as ETV, which it definitely isn't because it's tracking with TPS. So blue, grey and yellow, blue, grey and yellow should all be TPS. So this one here, this 47, is incorrect. And on the other one, so green, brown and other brown, they're all tracking with that. So this one here, that one's correct because that's ETV. So this one's incorrect. And this is the one that's showing up the most issues. So I've got my 4A and my 47 back to front. And, well, they're not ones that Woolich uses. They're one of the ones that, or they're the extra ones that I decoded. So that's where we're seeing the biggest issue with them. So right now, not too worried. I'll swap that around. They don't affect anything I've done with any of the log conversions and the tools and whatnot, because like I said, they're not actively used. But the interesting thing is that before any of the work, it was actually fixed. So we tested it before I'd done anything. As soon as I'd done the full sweep and then went back, it was gone. So I suppose we could theorize that what's been said is there's wear debris or whatever getting into the TPS sensor, and doing this might actually knock it out of the way. So it might have hit that debris quick enough to move it out of the way. And possibly why people are saying, oh, it's when the bike is cold, it's a problem. Once it warms up, it's okay. Well, it might be that once it warms up, the TPS sensor has been able to move enough to move the debris out of the way, or the bike shaking, vibrating, bouncing. This is, as bikes move around, it could be enough to actually clear the debris. And so this on startup might actually be a good thing. It clears it and moves. Now, I haven't been able to ride because it's been raining all day yesterday, and I was doing work on someone else's bike, so I de-restricted someone's CB650 25 model, undercut the tuners by quite a lot of money. But that's a different story. Yeah, so that seems to have worked. Now, if I go and pull up those other files, the which one did we just had? We had 7.5. So 7.6 was after doing a whole heap of maintenance on it. So I had it completely pulled apart. I was doing sort of dropped throttle closes there. Um, well, that's the whole file. So it was just, yeah, mode 3, mode 1. And if we open the other one, again, so I was doing slower ones, just trying to replicate it. So nothing really, they're all smooth. And then oh, sorry, mode 3. So these are mode 1, where it was happening before, and this is what we're looking at. So just putting this in and being able to give it a good full opening and full closing seems to have fixed it, seems to have made it go away in these tests, in these non-running tests. So we're just going to have to see how that persists, and how long it takes for the problem to reoccur. And I'm going to leave that tune on there with the mode 3 doing this. It's at 0 RPM, so it's only a factor on start, and I never ride the bike in mode 3 anyway, so I'm never really going to start the bike in mode 3. And I'm never going to start the bike in mode 3 with the throttle fully open. So it's not really dangerous or anything like that to leave it like that. And it is only in neutral. So I'll leave that there, and if I get into a situation where it starts playing up, I'll just pull over, put it into mode 3, turn the engine off, and give it a good swipe and see if that fixes it temporarily. But it could explain why people are having issues. Now, that doesn't rule out that the TPS sensor is a problem, and I do have one on order to replace. It does give me a temporary workaround, which is handy. So I'll cut this video here, and I've got some video of me actually doing some work, but I'll probably put that into a separate video. Yeah, this is interesting, and I not expected. I was expecting this to on this one here before I'd done any maintenance. Actually, I don't have a other one, so let's see. Yeah, so before I'd done the sweep, I was expecting this one to be rough here, and that some of my maintenance would have actually been useful. But it turns out that was all I needed to do for now. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and this is not over, it seems. But it might be something useful for people if people are persisting in a problem, and it might actually be something for the tuners who are out there dealing with customers that have this problem. Put this into your tunes and give them an option to just completely clean out, or at least disturbed whatever debris is causing issues in the TPS sensor. Another possibility I was thinking was that the tolerances on those wipers might actually be, well, they would be pretty tight. It's a contact wiper, it's a resistive sensor, and if it gets even just the tiniest little bit of debris come loose, those wipers are pretty delicate, so it could actually lock the wiper in place. I would suggest that's more the case rather than the material causing a short. Um, it's probably more that there's something in there that is actually preventing the wiper from moving cleanly. Yeah, this is highly likely it just gets it out of the way. And definitely why people say, oh, when the bike warms up, the problem seems to go away. It's only while it's cold. And it's like, well, if you can get onto the bike, start the bike and just go boop, well, not start the bike, but before you start the bike, just go boop, 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 and then start the bike, you're probably good to go. So I'll leave that for anyone. I know tuners watch me to hate me. but or some do because they like to argue. Well, most of them have given up. Anyway, again, I'll leave it at that, and thanks for tuning in.